Hey everybody, it's Brian, and thanks again for tuning into the channel. If you are just catching this video for the first time, or the first in the series I should say, I am installing the tip-over protection or engine and saddlebag guards from T-Rex Racing. T-Rex makes an awesome product. I've done a lot of research. I really like their product. Their customer service has been phenomenal as well. And so I went ahead and purchased these. I am not sponsored by T-Rex. I purchased these and I'm doing these videos to install. On the front guards, there weren't a whole lot of videos online, so I went into a lot of detail on that so that you could see exactly how that was done and I could explain some troubleshooting I had. If you haven't seen that video yet, it was done just before this one, so make sure you check back into my feed. All of my videos for motorcycling are in there. I'll also try to put a link here for somewhere on the screen, I'll put it, and hopefully you'll have a link to that video. But this video is installing the rear guards. These are for the luggage and to protect the rear of the motorcycle. When you have all three together, of course, it helps with tip-over protection for the whole bike. One thing worth noting, T-Rex gives some awesome instructions if you haven't gone through these yet or looked through them if you purchased this. But I do want to point out on the rear guards, they actually have a video online and they give you the website address and a QR code to scan with your phone. I highly recommend you do that. My video, I'm just an amateur guy. I'm not the one who made these. Their video obviously is from the company that made these. So make sure you check out their video as well as keep watching mine. We'll get these rear guards installed and I'll show you just how we did it and how easy it goes, okay? We'll talk to you in just a minute. Let's take a look and head back down to the shop. Okay, well, we go to install the luggage guards from T-Rex Racing on the rear of our FJR. A couple of tools we are going to need to line out. First, a 14mm socket with the wrench. The extension is not necessary, but I prefer to have it just to keep my fingers a little bit further away from the exhaust can. These are the 3 bolts that are provided by T-Rex Racing. We've got our medium strength thread locker. Make sure you're using that no matter what brand you choose and prefer. An 8mm Allen wrench and a 6mm Allen wrench. And that's all we need to do the rear. So this one happens really simply and really easy. Let's get to it. All right, we're here at the rear of the motorcycle. And to install the rear protection for the side cases, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this 14mm bolt holding the exhaust and these 2 6mm Allen wrenches. Now I've already broken these loose. They should be pretty simple for you to do. I'll fold this guy up out of the way while I get this one out. And you can set the bolt aside. You're not going to use it again. We'll grab our 6mm Allen and hold this in place while we pull these 2 out. Just like on the fronts, if you've watched that video, I don't recommend you use power tools for this. And the only reason I say that is because there are just way too many ways you could over-tighten something or slip and break and hurt something. So, including your own fingers. So the rear is off, now that bracket is out. That's a piece of cake. Now, the next step in it is to go ahead and put our bolts that are necessary in our bracket. Now, this is the left side bracket. I'm gonna try and hold this where you can see all 3 holes, okay? We've got, this is the one for the exhaust. This is what will become the top bolt, or the most forward bolt, and this will be the back bolt, okay? So forward on the bike, back on the bike. The reason I'm saying that is there are 3 different lengths of bolts. First, we're gonna take the larger 10mm. That is for our exhaust. That's back here for the exhaust. The shorter of the 2 bolts, one is 70 and one is 80. The shorter of the 2 is going to go forward. So if you're looking at it this way, I'll make it so you can see the holes. There's my holes right here. The shorter bolt is going to go in the forward one. The longer bolt is going to go in the back. Okay? So put this back up. We've got our big 10mm, our long 6mm, and our short 6mm. This one's 80 long, this one's 70 long. Okay? Got that? Everybody's with me? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to put it into the holder and such that was all here for the exhaust and everything else. And if we point it down and just use gravity, we can kind of help line it up that way. Wiggle everything nice and down into the holes where it goes. And now all we're going to do is refasten it. So the big 10mm is going to go back into the exhaust holder, which I'll do that last so that these top 2 help hold it in place. And we should be good to go. So we're going to put this right here. If you have a second person or a second set of hands, obviously it's nice because they can help you hold things in place while you're, screwing and tightening and whatnot. But if not, it's okay. It can be done. You can see there's the... Okay, sorry, I had to cut there. I realized I forgot the thread locker. So what I've got, I'll get you caught up here. All three of them just have the threads caught. That's all. So what I'm going to do now is just one at a time. I'm going to pull each one of these out, get them loosened up here again so I can get one out at a time, and we're going to put the thread locker on, and then we're going to put them all the way in. So here's our lower one, and again, thread locker. If you've never used this stuff, spreading it out around the threads does tend to help a little bit. Also makes it a little bit less mess for you. So we'll put that bolt through there and all the way in and back into that hole where it was just a minute ago. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to step over to the tool chest. This is one of the places where the long wrench is actually not doing me good with the long Allen wrench. So I went and picked up a short one, just another 6. Where again, as much as you want to just use power tools, I don't recommend it because there's just too many ways you can damage things. It's just a matter of being patient, getting it done, and it'll all end up working out. I just don't recommend the power tools on this one. Too many places you can slip, especially with Allen wrenches. Or messed with Allen wrenches, they're kind of finicky sometimes and can slip out and all kinds of stuff. So just little by little, it'll get in there. Okay. Okay, on to the back one. Aren't you glad you didn't have to sit and watch that? All right, so the back one, again, we're gonna take it out just like before. Pull it all the way back out now that we know it's all lined up and working. Those top two are nice and snug, so nothing's gonna move except for the exhaust is gonna drop just a little when I get this bolt out. Is put our thread locker on. And that's it. The left side is done. I'm going to move over to the right side, then I'll put the bags on and give you some more pictures. For the right side, I'm just going to run it in fast forward so that you guys can kind of watch what I do, but I'm not going to explain a whole lot. Like I said, they have a great video online of how to do this and what bolts go where. My video is just kind of a help and to show you what I'm doing as well, and if I come up with any tips. Really, it's been pretty straightforward. So let's move over to the right side. Well, there you have it. This is the right side of the motorcycle, and you can see the rear tip over protection for the luggage is installed. And if I come around here to the front very carefully, you can see it does indeed stick out. With my camera up against the motorcycle, you can see it's a little bit farther than the reflector. I think it actually is farther than the reflector, but either way, definitely going to be a help and very easy to install. Here's clearance from the side. You can see plenty of room. I didn't have any issues putting the bags on. No problems with them putting the saddlebags back in place, bumping or anything like that. And then the front guard is up there as well. So overall impression right now, I love them. They're great. Here, I'll show you over on the left side. One thing of a lesson learned for you, on the right side of the ES model, there are a couple differences. The left went pretty straightforward, as you saw in the detailed video there, but the right does have a couple of differences. The first is that the right side, you have what I can only guess is some sort of hydraulic cylinder or something to do with the ES on the suspension, but you can see it, that little silver cylinder right there, that is actually bolted in those two holes as well, so it kind of fell. You'll have to make sure to line that back up. And the other thing they don't tell you, or actually I take that back, my mistake and my apologies to T-Rex, they do tell you, but on the right side, and I don't know why this is, you have to line up the bottom hole or the exhaust hole first. Once you line it up with the bracket that holds your passenger foot peg, the top two holes line up, no problem. If you try to do the top two first, you will not get that bracket on. I don't know why, don't know what does it, but you have to do the bottom hole first. And the instructions do tell you that, so props to the guys at T-Rex. They do tell you that, but this definitely confirms, so far, both front and back fit on a 2020 FJR. Well, thanks for joining me for this portion of our guard installs. I've got everything from the rear luggage to the front engine and the front axle slider, all from T-Rex Racing to install. So if this is the first or second video you've seen, be sure you check my channel for the other ones. If you're seeing all three of them, thank you very much for watching. Again, if you'd like to like and subscribe to my channel, I appreciate it. But just one more reiteration. Number one, not a professional mechanic, just a dad of three, okay? Don't hold me to all the things. I make mistakes. It happens. I'd love to talk with you in the comments if you see something I did wrong. I'm always learning. Number two, not endorsed by any of the tools or pictures or whatever you see around the shop. So just want to make that clear. I bought these from T-Rex Racing. You can do the same, and I highly recommend it. Overall, those guys are phenomenal. I got to tell you, I've had to deal with them for customer service a couple times because I had questions. Piece of cake. Email me back right away. Also, before I ordered, I had inquiries and questions about whether it would fit the 2020. They answered those right away and confirmed for me if they didn't, I could ship them back to them. So overall, awesome, awesome. Highly recommend this company, T-Rex Racing, if you need sliders for your FJR. Okay? Have a great one, guys. Remember, all the gear, all the time. Keep the tires down and keep the blue skies up. Have a safe ride. We'll see you next time.